Okay, the title of this video is going to be The Bandits Get Home Bag. Now a little bit in Portuguese, but then I will speak in English. O título deste vídeo é o saco de regresso a casa ou o saco de emergência do bandido. Now, let's see. I have been using this get home bag not in a bandit style. I use it even if I have to go put the garbage out. When I leave home, even if it is to go to the bottom of the stairs, I take this bag. And I have to say that in it I have a spare ring, a spare key ring with keys. That is why I would probably resist if I was going to get robbed of it. So beware, or be aware, and be aware that there is maybe one item or such that I am not going to show in here. Okay, in the video. Okay, so even when I go shopping, this is at my back, because sometimes my support, being it friends or family, are not close to me. Okay, I have taken it and I have tested it always with me, even in religious masses and such. Even when I go to communion, it goes in my back. So I have been using it for more than 7 months, so I know what I'm talking about. I have taken it in trek, in kind of trails, in backpacking by bike to somewhat distant locations, inside buses, inside trains. 7 months of use. The weight that it had in general was at about 3.5 kilos or 7 pounds, which is by itself light. It is lightweight, but not lightweight enough. Not light enough for me. It has to be lighter, due to my experience. Main point. Travel light, as they say travel light, freeze at night. Yes, it is a bit like that. But if I am caught in an emergency, like imagine a thunderstorm, and we have right now one approaching this region. Even if the light goes out, and the Portuguese grid is very good and withstands much more than, for instance, the US grid, I see lots of survivalists, bushcrafters, and such, even in their get-home bags, focusing on things that, in fact, they are not the most used, and I know this by experience. Okay. They say the most important item is the knife. Yes, the knife is essential, but I rarely use a knife. Because we somewhat do our lives in urban or semi-urban environments. We are not going into an emergency. Imagine those people who were stranded like in 9/11 and such. They had to walk home. The most needed thing is not a knife. although a knife is essential. The most needed thing, the thing you use more, is water. And about water, I have to say one thing. Many people and many survivalists, most of them, and I are going to be furious, use filters and such. Yes, they are important if you go to the mountains, but beware, or mountains or some forests and such, but beware of a thing that is very important. When you filter water, you don't get rid of chemicals. And in most of our daily commutes, the water that we find in ponds, lakes and such are full of chemicals. So even with filtration, being it boiling or using filters like the life straw, the Sawyer and such, or the catadins or such, you don't get rid of chemicals unless you evaporate the water and collect the drops or the droplets. Okay, as far as I have been told recently by a chemical engineer. The most used thing is water. After that, the most used thing is food, along with light. That's a headlamp and a cam light. I use maybe more lighting items than sometimes I use food. Even when I go to what I would call small hikes or small bike trips that are not so small as we might think, like maybe 15 miles or something like that. And about mileage, I have to say that in general we walk 3.5 miles in 2 hours. So in general, most of our places of work or places where we relax are in radius, at least in Europe, are in a radius of 20 miles. So to go 20 miles on foot, you will need 2 days. Because even the most experienced trekkers that do those Pacific trails and Appalachian trails and such, they generally do maybe 15 miles when they have a good day. Because if you do more than that, you will be completely exhausted. So, travel light, freeze at night. Okay, how would I not freeze at night? Well, in here we have an emergency sleeping bag. Okay, but we have to be very careful with emergency blankets and this mylar stuff. Because of what? Because these reflect heat. They don't allow it for ventilation. So, after maybe a couple of hours, this will be filled of water in the inside. So if I go inside this, yes, I can resist the cold, and I have to be aware of the conduction to the ground. I can resist the cold, but I will get wet, and when I get wet, that moisture will freeze and will be cold, and I will be in trouble. And that's why one of the things that I use it and use it below heavy rainstorms but really heavy is the poncho. This is a resistant plastic. And look at all that I have in here is super light. But I have not forgotten that the title of the video is the Bandits Get Home Bag. So this will not be good, maybe good for a bandit, or would it be? Compared to a black one. Well, think about it. Maybe sometimes something that catches the eye maybe passes a little bit more as more normal, but it would be better if it was in black. But one big find was these two garbage bags. These are industrial bags, and these are difficult to find here in Portugal. And I found a ware store where they sell them by the weight. Big find. They are very resistant, and they can protect you from rain and help you build a shelter. And now I am going to switch to a thing that I use it also most: food. This is like a smoothie with apple, banana, and oat. This is the known Kit Kat, and this is a tube of a thing that is a very good vitamin, because it has zinc, it has vitamin C, and it has another type of plant. I think it's propolis or something like that, or honey derivative. I fill this with rice. I can use this simple cans. Look, this one has holes in it. Let me show you. See? So, with this one and with this fire boxes, I can take off one of these small rectangles, or small like squares, and one of these small squares, it's big tinder, and it will burn inside of this can. I will put the rice in here, and then I will complement the rice with this pate, and I will have a warm meal without using fire. That will will use fire, but that fire will not be visible in most cases, and it will be good. Another thing that the bandit would not do is not use a traceable cell phone. So wrap your cell phone in aluminium foil, because you do not run the risk. Imagine that you are in a train and the train stops because of lack of electricity, and they have to put the passengers out because the plane is the train is not sorry, the train is not is all automated today most of them are. And imagine that you are being chased by some kind of gang, you find a place to hide, and you receive a call from your friend asking you, "Whoa, where are you? Can you come play football with us?" or something like that. And they will hear it ring, it will reveal it's your place. The gloves, they explain themselves. This is a Sharpie. A Sharpie I chose, and when you choose a Sharpie, you must choose one that is with a metallic color, because it will shine at night. Look at that. See? And you can write in trees and such to mark the trails you have gone through if you don't want to be lost. A multi-tool with its pliers, with its knife. It will help pick up the hot can, a spork to heat, small compass. The shades, the glasses are wonderful because today we have facial recognition and we have to be careful with that. The face mask, even today with the pandemic and such, is self-explanatory. 2 lighters, and I can also have matches. This is a torch one. This is a pretty one that I would maybe trade with someone or offer someone if I got some kind of a favor. Both of them are rechargeables. The beanie, which is very important, and the headlamp must have a red light, and sometimes maybe it's better to have the headlamp on your wrist because you will see better the indentations on the pavement. Small socks, a couple of bags, plastic bags, and I have also here a pack of tissues, paper tissues that will help me if I want to also clean my ass. So super light, and I have all in here if my country is being run by an enemy force, and if I am being chased. Maybe I would add a radio with phones. Because if I use my cell phone to pick up radio, the cell phone will be traceable. And a couple of socks. I would also add a t-shirt. And about thermal imaging, to get out of thermal imaging, behind glass we are not caught by thermal image. And if I put that Mylar sleeping bag under, if I entered it to hide, and then put above it one of those industrial garbage bags, I will not be traceable by thermal imaging. And that is all that a bandit will do, because we are not going, maybe we can walk a little bit away from the road, following roads or following railroad tracks and such, but in general we are not going to make, in our travels in general, we are not going to make a big fire or cut logs or something. That is when we go to the mountains. And remember what I said about filtration. I have to have a small amount of money to buy to buy water, or maybe to buy a snack, or to get a ticket to somewhere, something like that. But this is the light stuff which allows you to move, to run, to hide, and this is how I am going to go. I hope you find this interesting, and see you till the next video.